guys. Good evening to everyone present to this session, and thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you so much, Mindhack Summit and their team, for choosing me as the speaker for this session today. Moving ahead, introducing about myself, I'm Manpreet, and I did my studies in applied mathematics from NIT Surat, Gujarat, and now I currently work as a data engineer at Pack Publishing. And I'm very much enthusiastic about NLP. That area interests me a lot, and I have been working for community on weekends, and I have my own YouTube channel, Aim Learning, where on weekends I host meetups. And for any further thing, you can follow me on LinkedIn with name Manpreet Budraja. And if you want to have insight to any of the meetups ranging from many topics, you can have a look at AIM Learning. Moving ahead, today I'll be talking to you about the real confessions of a data science practitioner. Well, I choose this topic because I have been recently completing my studies in June 2020, and now I work full time as a data engineer. And there were some things that I was doubtful of, there were some things that I was very scared about, and these are some of the confessions I think I'll be making you today, and most of you might relate to it so that it could help you clear most of your doubts. So, moving ahead, so the first confession that I would like to make you is when I started off, I thought that data science was all about machine training and testing and building models. But down the line, I realized it's also very important to collect the correct data, have a clear idea about your purpose of that project. How do you collect data? How do you pre-process your data? What EDA you do, like pre-analysis of your data, and how do you summarize your data, and how do you choose your model? Like on every data set, you can't use a particular model. So when I started off, I thought it was always about that building and testing and training and RN and deep learning and all. But with time, I realized it's most important to collect your data. How do you clean your data? And how do you analyze your data? Is the data you collected is actually relatable to your problem statement or the purpose you are trying to solve that problem? Or not. So this is one of the main confessions I would like to tell you, that don't think that data science is all about doing these things, but it's also about doing many other things, and each step has its own importance during this journey. The next thing I would like to tell you, that me being from MSc Mathematics, I never knew the importance of mathematics in the field of data science until my third year of college. When I did my internship in Chandigarh CSIR CSIO, I interacted with a girl over there. She was from BITS Pilani, and she made me realize that whatever things we build in data science are very, very much related to mathematics. I was studying too. You see, there is statistics involved in it. You see, there is linear algebra, the matrix, the vector space, the embedding space. You see, there is a lot of differentiation involved in it, whether it's partial or full, because partial differentiation is used when you do backpropagation. You need to understand the gradient descent. You need to know statistics. You need to know probability to make language models. A lot of probability is used to predict, given a word, what would be the next word in language model. So I guess small topics add a very huge value to your uh, field of data science when you're trying to be a data science practitioner or you want to be into the field of data science. I was not serious about the course I was studying, and I never thought how closely it is related to the field of data science. And I am thankful that I realized at a very good time. So it helped me grew myself and make myself much better into that. The next thing is networking on LinkedIn was never a priority to me. So I knew about LinkedIn. In our first year, we had a college session by our seniors. They told us to make our LinkedIn accounts and network, but how to use it, why to use it, what difference does it make it. Now I can tell you little from my learning. During the lockdown, I was in my final year of college and I didn't have much to do as it was our final semester going on. So I used to be very active on LinkedIn. I used to read people's posts and comment and connect with people, and it helped me grow in such a way that I'm I'm very blessed to be a part of a good data community now. um, I'm able to share my opinions, and today I'm able to share with you all over here and speaking in front of you. And that's all what has LinkedIn given me. LinkedIn has given me to my job that I'm doing. It was a job posting on LinkedIn that through I applied, and now I'm working there as a full time. So, but I never knew how to use it properly. I never knew how do you connect, how do you communicate your ideas, and that's all what I got from LinkedIn. When you are connecting with someone very popular, a small note writing, why do you want to connect them? What work have you studied about them? Helps them to know how you stand from the other people. So this is one confession I would like to make you that from May, uh, from around May, I started to use LinkedIn, and now I feel that I'm very much liking it, using it, connecting with people, talking to people, and attending meetups, and of course, talking to you all over here. The next thing I would like to confess to you was that I never knew how important small things like writing a vision for yourself, how important is to communicate you communication skills, how important does this all play in your journey. So when I started off, I did not knew, but when I attended Giovanna's session, you can check at her on LinkedIn. She really made a difference on letting me know that how important is you to have your vision written and see how you are stepping towards it. It helps you keep a check about your vision. So I would say that soft skills play a very important role with the technical knowledge you have. But if you don't have a learning attitude, if you don't have that attitude to learn, if you can't communicate your ideas to the other person, I feel that you wouldn't be able to communicate what you think with your team members and managers when you're going to job, or even at a college. If you can't communicate your ideas to your friends and build up a good project, it makes a lot of difference. So communication skills play a very important role, and Giovanna helped me realize a lot about it. The next thing was I was very scared of writing blog posts and post on LinkedIn. Um, I think I never thought of writing initially. I thought people would make fun of me, and there are many experts writing many good things. If I write, what difference does it make? But then when I start writing, I realize I have a different perspective to everything, and it's sometimes about all the perspectives. I'll be having a different perspective to A concepts, and the person B would be having like a different perspective to another concept. So, and it helps you to know what people think about that concept. Like I had shared about the concept called similarity, uh, fuzzy wuzzy similarity that you use between two. list to calculate, and I got to see a lot of people's opinion on it. I had a good discussion with them, and it was such a healthy discussion. And I will not lie that I was mocked about my writing. I was mocked about my spelling mistakes that I made, about the way of my writing. But I feel blessed to have people who supported me and corrected me in a very good way, telling me you can work in this way to make your content more. Ayush Agarwal and Tom and Giovanna have always helped me a lot to about my content. And whenever I host meetups and it gets like a glitch over there or something. So they always help me and are always there to support me. And I have learned that from them. And I try to support each and everyone that I can do. This is one thing that I realized. I also realized that one thing is working is a part of my life, but reading and researching about NLP is my interest, and I should not lose it with time. Like if I'm working, that is I'm doing for my myself and earning, but working and reading about NLP and exploring more about it was my passion, and it should be there still. And I try to take out time from my work schedule to explore these things and see what are the new advances, how is NLP being used. So I would say that if you are working and you have some passion for something, even if it's drawing, it's painting, it's learning music, never lose it or never leave it, because sometimes you don't realize, but that things are the one that makes you the happiest person when you are just tired of work or you're studying or something. So take out time for yourself and always have a me time while you're doing anything, working, studying, or anything. Take out time that is just for you and yourself. um, I work as a data engineer, but you won't all believe that I was scared of accepting a job as a data engineer, because I have always heard of the job titles as a data scientist, NLP engineer, research engineer, NLP scientist, but never heard of a job as a data engineer. And but then I consulted with some people and they told me that it's a very good opportunity for you to take it. And trust me, I feel I was lucky to have listened to their advice and now working, because when I see the job role of a data scientist, half the work that is mentioned is what a data engineer does. So yeah, I feel blessed about it, taking that decision. Also, I never knew about community work. Like, I was part of GDG Surat during my college, but building a community and hosting meetups was never a thought that would come to me. Thanks to one of my friend Akshay. He works in Bangalore, so he suggested that there are a lot of meetups happening in Bangalore. So I said him that there are not very much that happens in Gujarat. So we started out with organizing them and reaching out to people to let them know in Gujarat what is AI, what is data science, and it has helped me to connect with a lot of more people. It has helped me to gain a lot of confidence in talking in front of camera. It has also helped me to grow as a person. I learned YouTube editing skills, so that's an advantage. But yeah, it helped me to grow a lot. So I think these are some of my confessions that I would like to make, that uh, I I have realized. And one thing I would say that it's not necessary to have a title of data scientist to be a data scientist. That is a recent blog that me and one of our teammate and friend have written, that being a sports you can realize your own data and analyze your own data, and that's a data scientist practice. You can be a waiter at a hotel and tell your manager that, at a particular time, these of your foods, these type of foods sell the most. So you are observing, you are learning from your data. So always remember to be have like a what Tom suggested is we do have policy. You can be a data scientist, but you have to practice a data scientist. But you don't have to be a scientist in person. So that is all I have to confess to you all. And I hope you have a good time writing on LinkedIn and sharing your opinions either through videos or posts or blog posts or GitHub. And I'm looking forward to hear you from all. And thank you for this session.
Hey, thanks a lot for the session. I hope all of you guys have enjoyed. We have a few questions though.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the questions is from Niranjan. What exactly is data cleaning and is it related to removing biases from data sets? I'm assuming it's a
Uh,
data, and that's the kind of a question he asked. So could you yeah.
um, Data cleaning, I mean, is that suppose you are taking scraping data from a website, so it's an XML format that has headers and tags and everything. So while building a model, you don't exactly need that hashtag HTML, hashtag body that you have in HTML format. So I meant by that data cleaning, and you pre-process your data. So you don't need your data if the stop words like the and gets very repetitive when you're working with language. So you would not need that. So, because that would cause a lot of biases, like when you're counting the words frequency. So, the most occurrent words would be the and everyone. But if you use TF-IDF, the term frequency, inverse document frequency, the most rare words gets the highest frequency because we use a negative log in it. So that is how I meant by data cleaning.
Okay, there are a few more questions. Another is from Gautam. The question is, what do you think is more appropriate to solve a problem, machine learning or deep learning?
So it depends upon your client or upon your project that you want to build up, upon the resources that you have. So it depends a lot on what you are trying to solve as a person. Sometimes a client would want the code to be very optimized and not so good. Like the accuracy is good, but it should work fast. Sometimes the client would want that your code should be very accurate, irrespective if it takes a lot of time to respond. So it depends upon your use case, because you can build a language model and you can build a neural language model. But what helps you with your use case is that is all then that comes to the end.
All right, so we have like one last question, which is, does a data scientist need to be better at statistics than a software engineer and better at software engineering than a statistician?
Um, I guess data scientists should know about everything from end to end to getting your data, to knowing how to deploy it, to know how to code it. So it includes everything from creating machine learning pipelines to deploying your model end to end. And mathematics plays a very important role, and it plays more important when you're doing data analysis also, because you need to analyze your data, you need to calculate the mean, you need to calculate standard deviation. But with data scientists, you need to know a lot of things, like how you can collect the correct data, how you can create machine learning pipelines, how you can query your data from your databases, and how optimizedly you can use that data.
All right, I think that's about all the questions we have. Thanks a lot for the session. There is a compliment from Pinaki Mitra. This is a great session, Manpreet. Keep doing it. All right, so thanks a lot for the session. This was a great one. So yeah, let's end this one.
Thank you.
Yeah.